Set, ready to go. Canyon Ceman in the black hat. He will serve it first. The dark hat. His partner, Big Mike Whitmarsh, at the net in the white hat. Quickly, 2 out of 3 games for the championship. First 2 games are to 21 rally scoring. Third game, if necessary, to 15. Canyon starts with a floater, and he goes right to Dax Holdren. And Dax chops it down the line. Holdren is 29 years old. He played with Todd Rogers for 12 years, Heather. 12 years.
Talk about adjusting to a new partner. But Fonoimoana, a great partner to adjust to. Extremely physical and intimidating at the net.
Canyon, and his first shot is blocked by Eric of Fonoimoana, the gold medalist from Sydney, 32 years old, grew up in Manhattan Beach, went to UC Santa Barbara.
And just so physically intimidating. Look at the lateral movement. Gets set so he can go straight up. Good pike, penetrates, and it's all about the timing. You see, he doesn't get much more than his palms over, but the timing, perfect.
Holdren. This is the pattern they will serve Canyon Ceman most of the time. Canyon's a great setter, and Whitmarsh is the big man. Might take Canyon and Whitmarsh a little bit of a moment to get loosened up, and they are off to a very slow start.
And while we'll see them serve Canyon Ceman on that side, on the other side, look for all the serves to go to Dax Holdren. All weekend long, teams have been afraid to serve Fonoimoana. He's just too explosive offensively. Hasn't gotten a lot of looks so far.
So Holdren, 6'3", 200 in his 9th season. Here comes Canyon, and Canyon cutting it through. Canyon Ceman, 29 years old, born in Manhattan Beach, 6'5". In his 10th season, he's won 5 times on the AVP Tour, but none last year. His last win was July 23rd, 2000 in Belmar with Mike Whitmarsh. Really struggled last year. Lots of seconds and thirds. Fonoimoana with the choppy.
You know, if you talk about playing conditions and perfect scenarios for Whitmarsh and Canyon Ceman, this is it. They've come out of the winner's bracket. They haven't had to play as much as Fonoimoana and Holdren. It's also been very cool until about an hour ago, which helps this team. Mike Whitmarsh is 40. Canyon Ceman's had a lot of health issues with his legs. It helps to keep them cool. Their legs are fresh.
Now let's get back to our championship final. We've switched sides again. Fonoimoana and Dax up by 2. Now Canyon with the serve. He's passed by Dax. It's 9-7.
Oh, they're making it look so easy.
How hard is it to defense or block a lefty, do you think?
Well, you know, I was a lefty, so I never had to do it. I still
quit poking me.
Who would know it? But you know what? It's just a different look. As a lefty, I mean, all my life, I can't ever remember playing against more than 1 or 2 lefties throughout 20 years of volleyball. So you're used to lining up on that right shoulder.
Trying to tap it. Nice block by Fonoimoana.
And you know, it's an advantage like it is in any other sport to be a left-handed baseball player, tennis player, quarterback, you name it. It is an advantage to be a lefty.
Dax, whether he was righty or lefty, would be great because of his court vision and his, mental toughness. The fact that he's lefty definitely changes the angles a little bit, so, inside sets might not go where they would go for a righty, and just it makes you change your defensive strategy a little bit.
Nice play by Fonoimoana. That's his 4th block, and he looks powerful at the net, Heather.
Well, he's so physically fit. I mean, he is so dedicated with his work ethic, and you can tell he is just playing his best volleyball. It's all about the crouch. He gets so low to explode with his body. He isn't the biggest player out there. 6'3". I mean, you look at Mike Whitmarsh at 6'7", but they have about the same space that they take away with the court because of Fonoimoana's technique.
Fonoimoana, tremendous jumping ability, and he is carved up, and that is an ace. Let's serve, the net serve in play in all phases of volleyball now, and Dax Holdren gets the gentle ace.
Off the jump serve, nice high toss, gets underneath it with that wrist snap, gets the topspin, and the topspin is what edges it over to the top of the tape rather than dribbling on their side. Huge difference between an ace and an error.
4-0 scoring run for Dax Holdren and Eric Fonoimoana. Serving Canyon exclusively. And Canyon, a little bit volatile.
Well, you know what they need to do. They need to find a way to get Mike Whitmarsh involved in this match. So far, he has not been a factor. Look for Whitmarsh to try and attack on 2.
14-7 is our score. We'll have more from the Huntington Beach Open presented by Michelob Light right after this.
And now you don't place as well as you expect. So now we walk back down to the event and you just see the crowd and the sun's out, and this is what you train for now. You do those things that you don't want to do all week so you can shine here in the sun with the crowd and play for big money on Sunday. But you bottle this, and this is what fuels you. Maybe when you don't feel like doing your sprints on Tuesday, you pull this little feeling out of your jar to motivate you. And that's what makes or breaks champions.
The Huntington Beach Open presented by Michelob Light, Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. 14-7 is our score. Fonoimoana and Holdren have doubled up Ceman and Whitmarsh. Holdren serving. And over the top goes Canyon Ceman.
And that's a smart swing by Canyon Ceman. Very heady player. Takes his time to look at the block, look at the defense. His partner calling out that line is open. And I know that Ceman right now knows he's a little frustrated, needs to get on track.
Game one. Eric Fonoimoana and Dax Holdren have the lead. Nice dig by Canyon. Whitmarsh up. Fonoimoana rejected.
He makes the move. Unbelievable.
Mike Whitmarsh up high.
Mike Whitmarsh.
His first up.
And that is a huge point and a huge momentum swing, because not only did they do it once or twice, but 3 times they kept themselves in this one, and it finishes off with a huge block by Whitty. First he gets the soft block and then the stuff block. Great recognition, knowing that Fonoy wants to attack on 2 whenever he can.
Whitmarsh serving again. And Holdren, it hit the top of the net. Whitmarsh got a break, and Whitmarsh puts it away.
10-14.
Mike Whitmarsh caught a break when the ball hit the net, and that turns into the 10th point.
One thing about Whitmarsh and Canyon Ceman, they will never give up, and they're great at adjusting, great at reading the opponents and figuring out what they need to change.
Fonoimoana pops it through. Eric Fonoimoana has won 7 tournaments in his career. Of course, the big one in Sydney, Australia, September 26, 2001. He won also in Oceanside last year, those all with Dane Blanton. Canyon snapping, nice dig. Whitmarsh with the bump, and Canyon with the rocket.
But we are seeing some tremendous rallies, and it's all about defense, turning it into transition, keeping the ball alive, and then forcing your opponent to make mistakes. Whitmarsh and Ceman have done a much better job being consistent in the latter half of this first game.
(15-11). Canyon is there. Short bump, Canyon. Dax with a one-arm bandit. Whitmarsh, and Whitmarsh slugs it through.
Boy, how frustrating is that for Holdren, making incredible dig after incredible dig and still not able to convert for a point. You got to put the ball away. When you can get a dig and keep that ball alive, you've got to do something with it. Great one-arm stab, just instincts. Again, that's all about growing up with the game. Whitty able to finish things off.
So now Canyon going with the floater, working on Fonoy. And Fonoy punches it through.
And a little bit of a new strategy. That's the first time all weekend I have seen somebody intentionally serve Eric Fonoy. Now, the reason they're doing it, they're trying to get him deep. They're serving very deep corners to try and push him off the court so he can't attack.
It's a capacity crowd here in Huntington, juiced up.
What a great way to kick off the season. Perfect.
Yep, first stop, Canyon Ceman and Mike Whitmarsh got off to a very poor start, trailing 6-2, actually down 14-8 at one point, and have rallied back a bit, now trailing 16-13. Mike Whitmarsh in the white cap, turned backwards. His partner Canyon Ceman in the dark cap. On the far side, Eric Fonoimoana, green cap going backwards, and Dax Holdren, the blondie. Early in his career, well, not early in their careers, Mike Whitmarsh was able to block Eric Fonoimoana relentlessly. And I think that's one of the factors of why they're serving Fonoy. I think he just thinks he has a thing, he can block him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, Mike Whitmarsh forever has been the dominant blocker on the beach. I mean, you can tell with his height, his basketball abilities, that blocking is just such a natural, instinctive move for him.
For the longest time, Randy Stoklos was the most feared blocker on the beach. Tim Hovland also a great rejecter. And then along came Mike Whitmarsh, the former basketball star, the 5th round draft choice of the Portland Trail Blazers way back when. And Dax and Fonoy ready to receive serve. That's a key element in beach volleyball, passing the ball like that. And Dax is dug. Whitmarsh. Comes Dax. It's tight. Whitmarsh got his hands on it.
Yeah, Whitmarsh touching a ton of balls. He's averaging about 5 blocks per match in this tournament. That is an astronomical number, but he was just out of position on this one. Watch the way he's moving on contact, drifting outside the court. That's how you get Tool. It just goes right off that right hand. The ball goes exactly where his hand is facing. Got to press your hands down.
Dax Holdren, former left-handed pitcher when
Still
he was a
is,
youngster.
I bet.
Yeah, he's got some heat. Canyon tapping down the line.
But you got to give a lot of credit. Canyon did not start off well in this match, but he has turned it around. Took a timeout and has just completely adjusted his game. Ceman now with 9 kills. Whitty with just 2. He's not getting served. Mike Whitmarsh has received just 1 serve all match. On the other hand, they are completely serving Fonoy, which is a surprise. Fonoy's taken 12 serves. Holdren just 2 right before the match. They told me their strategy was to keep the ball to Holdren. Must have seen something in the warm-ups that they didn't like.
19-15 our score. Once again, back to Canyon. And Canyon puts it away. One reason a lot of teams like to serve Canyon, he suffers from an unusual condition called lymphedema.
So I have this lymphatic problem in my leg. And a lot of people do plyometrics like on the sand and a lot of running and jumping programs, but my leg does better in the water where the compression of the water keeps the swelling down a little bit. So I'm gonna get after it.
It's a problem of the lymphatic system and the return, and his left leg swells up unbelievably. You see, look at his left leg. It's almost twice as fat as his right leg. Heat and humidity are bad. It's just a circulation problem of the lymph system, and this is something that once it starts to swell up, there's no recipe for it.
And it's huge. I mean,
Yep.
you can certainly tell when it's bothering him, but it's a constant issue and something he always has to stay on top of. And these conditions have been perfect. As we mentioned, the sun
Yep.
didn't start shining till about an hour ago, so I think he's feeling as healthy as he can.
Eric Fonoimoana blasts through, and now we have come to our first game point.
Fonoimoana and Holdren.
Fonoy now with 7 kills in this first game. Just a huge swing, steps into the ball. His body's going exactly along the angle line that he wants to take. Get your most power that way.
First of 4 game points for Dax Holdren and Eric Fonoimoana. Dax serving into the wind. He's got a great spinner. Canyon. And Canyon smacks it on the line. So 1 game point averted.
17-20.
And this is a team that will not make mental errors when their backs are against the wall. Whitmarsh and Ceman very good under pressure.
Second game point coming up now. Let's see who Whitmarsh goes to here. Back to Fonoy or try Dax? Back to Fonoy. Fonoy for the win in game 1. No, Canyon got the dig. Whitmarsh on the run. Joust coming up. And who got it?
Ceman got it, last one.
And it's off Dax, and he said, I got it first.
Now that is a great call. He wiped it off at Dax. Dax is the last one to touch it.
Okay. Nope, he hit it off of Dax.
Now this is what you call teamwork. Dax is yelling at Olmsted, the down ref, and his partner Fonoy is yelling at Verna, the up
Cover
ref.
all your bases.
Yep, there you go. That's something they've worked out even though it's their first tournament.
All right, take another look. The key is who touched it last.
Oh.
There's the wipe.
I think Dax got that first. Dax got it first. Dax was right. Yeah, I think Dax touched that first. Good point. Doesn't matter now. Call made. 20-18.
Now you got to get past it.
Third game point coming up. Yeah, it was a bang,
Let
bang
it
play.
go.
And Canyon will stay back and play defense. Whitmarsh will serve it. Once again, Fonoy for the win. Not yet. Whitmarsh spinning. Couldn't get wood on it. Dax Holdren to win game one. That's it.
For the game, ladies and gentlemen, 21-18.
That will do it. 21-18. The new team, part of the changing AVP tour. Dax Holdren and Eric Fonoimoana. They get the win 21-18. So some fireworks, Heather Cox, in game one. Fonoy and Holdren win it. You on Fox Sports Net. AVP Tour stop number one. Canyon Ceman and Mike Whitmarsh start on the good side, serving into the wind. The wind has dropped a lot, though. It's kind of late afternoon here in Huntington Beach. But you do have to deal with the sun in your face, which is going down to the north of the pier, into the northwest. And Eric Fonoimoana, I tell you what, he really looks like he's playing with confidence.
Well, he's so quick. His timing, his footwork on his approach, basically just beating Whitmarsh to the ball.
So Dax Holdren, the longtime partner of Todd Rogers, who's now playing with Sean Scott.
Those two actually had a great finish, tied for fifth.
Canyon has it up. Fonoy's got it up. Can someone put it away? Not yet. Long rally favors Hoog, Heather.
Oh, I got to give it to the smaller team, Fonoy. Fifth stop block.
You know, one of the knocks against Fonoy early in his career was he couldn't block. He was a great hitter and athletic, but he is really, he takes a blocking pills.
You know
or
what,
something.
though? He's like me. All you have to do is tell him you can't do something, and immediately that's going to become his best skill. It's all about his technique, the way he crouches, penetrates, really pikes, uses his entire body to block a ball.
So now Holdren will serve his team up 2-0. Good pass by Canyon. And right to Holdren. He guessed right. Dax Holdren. Off Whitmarsh. See ya. And that's another point. So Holdren and Fonoimoana really are playing well now. Smooth.
And you know, they're not at all intimidated by Whitmarsh's block. The problem right now, I think, for Mike Whitmarsh is the timing. And I think he'd be the first to admit it. He's very frustrated. His block hasn't been a factor. And for this team to win, they've got to score blocks on his stuff blocking and score points on that block.
AVP Tour continuing on Fox.
Good.
Dax Holdren and Eric Fonoimoana lead it 3-0
Canyon.
over Canyon Ceman and Mike Whitmarsh. And now it is 3-1. If we forgot to tell you, Karch Karai back on the beach
Back. We've
this
been
year.
missing him. So good to have him back.
And Karch played very, very well. Karai and Brent Doble finishing in a tie for third. I happened to watch that crossover semifinal between Mike Whitmarsh and Canyon Ceman. It was 13-all. Winner advancing into our final. Whitmarsh and Ceman got the last 2 points, won at 15-13 in the third. Karch ending up third.
Just a great finish and a great semifinal. Now here, Fonoy and Holdren just continue to be powerful and tooling the block of Whitmarsh. And you know, I don't think there's a lot of players that have the confidence to aggressively go after Whitty's hands, but these two are.
Here comes Fonoy on the right side. He used to play the right with Dane. Whitmarsh backing up off the net. Nice play.
Save.
Fonoy, little shoot set, and a nice shot by Dax Holdren.
5-1 game 2.
Our official getting a bird's eye view up there at the net. So hard to play that ball out of the net and then scoop it up. I mean, great transition volleyball and defense, but once again, Dax and Fonoy playing like they've been playing together forever. I mean, it's just amazing to think this is their first tournament together. The chemistry and the communication is just perfect.
Sometimes it works like that. It can be all downhill from there, or you continue on and play great. Nice shot. Dax Holdren up high.
Things like that can't hurt the chemistry. Now 6 stuff blocks for this team. In the first game and a half, it was all Eric Fonoimoana. Now Dax Holdren getting a piece of the pie. Look at him leaning into the court, just flying into your view. Good timing by Dax.
A little bit earlier, we had a chance to talk to Dax Holdren about playing with the body, Eric Fonoimoana. This is what he said.
You guys have all seen he's a very intense player, but very fun to play with. And the brief time we've been practicing and playing this year, I've been having a great time. So it's a burst of new energy for me.
And this team certainly poised to do some damage this season. I like them so far.
Well, of the split-up teams, they look by far the best. And Holdren, now interestingly, they're splitting duties when Fonoy serves. Holdren staying at the net and doing a pretty nice job.
And that's a new page out of the playbook. I think a lot of people would think Fonoy would come up and block, but I think that's what makes this team so good. They're very balanced. There's no weaknesses, no one glaring thing for Whit and Ceman to take advantage of.
Fonoy with a dig. Oh, and Holdren missed one. Had a chance to play a little pinball defense and poke it over, could not. So Canyon and Whitmarsh will get the ball back.
Canyon with his 13th kill. He's been very potent at the net offensively, but you know what? They just haven't had the balance. Mike Whitmarsh has had absolutely no opportunities to swing at the ball. He's been served one time this entire match.
And Whitmarsh. And Werner Klubnigan indicating a lift off the block. I tell you, Whitmarsh shoved that so far down, there was no recovering.
He's a little slow to get up, though. 40 years old, 6'7". When you get dirty, it takes a while to get back up. Take a look at the contact, too. Watch Whitmarsh. There's the penetration,
That's
just rejects it. It's a great call. Dax palms it. Illegal lift.
So Canyon Ceman, let's see if they get the ball to Holdren again.
Good communication.
And Fonoy powers one through.
The Whitmarsh and Ceman continue to change their strategy. Started off serving Holdren, then went to Fonoy, and that was just the second serve that's gone over to Holdren this game.
So Dax Holdren, who didn't play volleyball until he was a junior in high school. Todd Rogers, the aforementioned former partner, and his cousin talked him into playing. Come on out, play some volleyball. Learned how to play at East Beach in Santa Barbara. Nice dig by Holdren. Over the top, and Whitmarsh, I'll tell you what, Whitmarsh gets some great trajectory whenever he's doing anything. You got to be ready. It's like coming down, yeah. He doesn't poke it in the corner. He shoves it straight down if he can.
We've seen some great rallies in this match so far. Good ball control and great hustle to get the second and third attempts. Whitmarsh's block starting to become a factor.
8-4. Fonoy and Holdren have the lead. And going on two was Dax.
You know, Dax and Eric just keep their opponent in a constant state of surprise. They are just not predictable. Makes it very hard to defend a team like that. Whitmarsh and Ceman wandering around, getting the sand mountains leveled out. It's a lot like bending down and tying your shoe, fixing your knee brace, anything you can do to change the momentum. Little stall tactic.
And it looks like a timeout coming, or at least a break in the action. And we're in the midst of game 2 of our championship final. Fonoimoana and Holdren won game 1. They lead 9-4 here in game 2. And Mike Whitmarsh getting his hand worked on. Looked like he got some kind of a small laceration that caused some blood to spill out. He looks like he's good to go. Ceman and Whitmarsh really, though, they have to take their game to another level. They're going to get dusted here.
Well, and I think they need to take advantage of the injury timeout. It was a good couple of minutes that they had to regroup, really think about their strategy, and I think it only favors the team of Whitmarsh and Ceman. Now, for Fonoy and Holdren, it's hard to keep that momentum that they had before the injury.
5-point lead. Here comes Canyon Ceman.
Canyon Ceman, cut shot for 5-9.
So Ceman and Whitmarsh get a much needed point.
All right, I think they're onto my game.
That makes it 9-5. While we have a moment, let's check in with Michelob Light, Chris Marlowe, and Heather Cox. What a weekend it has been. 10,000 sun worshipers all along the pier. One of the biggest turnouts we've ever had at Huntington.
We could not have asked for a better debut, a way to kick off this AVP season. I mean, this is just vintage beach volleyball. This is what it's all about. The players so happy to finally be back to competition after practicing during a long off season.
The end of the match is near unless a miracle comeback for Canyon Ceman and Mike Whitmarsh. They trail 17-11, down 1 game to none, 4 points away from defeat. Could they rally? They go to the good side, Heather Cox. Wind in their face.
Ball to drop.
Yeah.
But somehow they have to find a way to hit it around the block of Fonoimoana and Holdren.
Got to get one right here. And down the line goes Canyon. The story of the match has been blocking Holdren and Fonoimoana with 9 blocks. And Fonoimoana doing most of it. Ceman and Whit just with 3. So 17-12. And Canyon still float serving. I wonder if his leg is really bothering him. Fonoimoana punches it past.
Especially on the good side.
Yeah.
You'd think you'd take advantage of it, get the top spin,
Yeah.
get the wind to drop it. You know, when you serve those lollipops, you just have to wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just setting yourself up for failure because Fonoimoana is just teeing off. This is a team that has way too much ball control.
Could be Canyon, the leg hurts.
Yeah, the
Whitmarsh
leg
really
is
doesn't
certainly-
have, he doesn't really have the big jump serve. That's never really been his specialty.
Canyon's left leg visibly bigger
Yeah.
than his right. It's been a problem for years. It's a maintenance issue, and it's a frustrating issue for Canyon, I know, and it's painful as well.
Once again, if you just joined us, he suffers from a condition called lymphedema. Not to make excuses, but he plays in pain every weekend. It's kind of like a Casey Martin thing, but not like that. Casey Martin's infirmity is different, but it's that kind of that kind of infirmity that you have to play through because there's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly. It's just the way it is. If you choose to play, you've got to deal.
Yeah, take some medication for it, but grinds his way through it. You got to give him a lot of credit for that. 19-13, Fonoimoana and Holdren. 2 points away from their first tournament victory together. Holdren's won 8 tournaments in his career. And Eric Fonoimoana, you know, Whitmarsh has blocked him a couple of times, but his offense has been outstanding.
He's going back and swinging with a ton of confidence. It showed throughout this weekend, and Fonoimoana is ready.
The crowd is up. We are set and ready for championship point. Fonoimoana will serve it, 20-13. This could be it right here. Canyon, Cuddy, yes.
21 kills now for Canyon Ceman. He has taken the majority of the offensive load for this team and the serve-receive load. I mean, he has been touching a lot of balls. Good ball control.
Second game point. Is that right? Just one serve to Whitmarsh today? Nice dig, and it's out, and Dax Holdren and Eric Fonoimoana have won the championship here in Huntington Beach.
What a great way to debut a new partnership. Talk about confidence heading into the rest of the season.
Dax Holdren wins his 9th tournament of his career. Eric Fonoimoana wins the 7th of his career. They win their first together in their first try. So Dax Holdren, Eric Fonoimoana, the champions here in Huntington Beach. Also, congratulations to Mike Michelob Light. What a day it was.